Ladies and gentlemen, to those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they can take it, we say, welcome to the madhouse.
Try and take me to the madhouse. To the madhouse. To the madhouse. Try and take me to the madhouse. To the madhouse. To the madhouse.
Hello and welcome to the Madhouse Podcast, the podcast where we watch and review the best and worst the horror world has to offer. I am Joey, the one who doesn't know what he's talking about, and joining me is Jimmy, the man whose surname is the same as the response he gets when hitting on northern women. Faulkner! Did you like that one?
Yes, that's the best so far.
Oh, nice. I'm getting better.
Any more, or is that the one?
No, I've got... I can call you something else. If you like. No, I didn't write an intro today. I wrote it while you were just outside having a cigarette before we started.
Yes, that's
on the spot.
best. That's the best. That's the best one so far.
I'll do it on the spot. Well, not on the spot, but I'll do it just before we start recording next time then. Right, Hellraiser.
Oh yeah.
1987.
Yep.
Best year ever.
Was it
Yeah.
for
So-
movies?
Sure.
For
It's
movies,
it's
for
the year
music?
I was born.
Oh,
Appetite
okay.
for Destruction, Guns N' Roses that year.
Right. Okay.
Good album.
Okay.
There must be a load of good films in 87 as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Hellraiser, for start.
Yeah.
Released on 10th of September as well, literally 16 days before I was born.
Oh, okay.
Written by and directed by Clive Barker.
Yes, Ledge.
Yes. Made on a budget of either 900,000 or 1 million,
Okay.
and made between either 14.6 and 20 million, judging from different figures that I found.
Okay.
Whichever figures are true, it's a good debut.
Definitely, it's
For
one of
a-
the most iconic horror films. Surely, it's up there with when you go, "Oi, tell me a horror film."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're gonna go, "Oh, Hellraiser."
Yeah.
Obviously,
It'll be in
it's
one of the
iconic.
top few responses, I would have thought.
Yeah,
But it was director Clive Barker's directorial debut. Decided to direct it himself after being disappointed at previous adaptations of his work,
yeah,
including Underworld and Rawhead Rex.
yes.
Rawhead Rex sounds like a crap dinosaur name a toddler would come up with.
Okay, yeah, but you've seen the characters that he's created,
Oh, yeah.
so you know that's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, you go on.
I was going to say, I think it was going to be called Sadomasochistics from Beyond the Grave
Yes.
was the title.
The book was called The Hellbound Heart.
Yes.
But according to New Media Production, it sounded like a romance novel, so they wanted to change. That's it was Barker that came up with Sadomasochist from Beyond the Grave. And did you hear what a woman on the production team came up with when they put it out on the floor for people to come up with? 60-year-old woman.
Yes, I did read this, but I can't remember what it was. So go on.
What a woman will do for a good
Yes.
which I think they should have gone with.
Yeah, definitely. Because, that basically sums up the entire movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horny zombie turns on horny woman to
Yeah.
bring other horny men
Yeah.
back so horny zombie can eat horny men.
Yeah. He's the best bang that she's ever had, and she'll do anything to get it.
To get a bit of flesh back on that bone.
Yeah, Christ. Must have been a big bone, because it took a lot of murdering.
Clive Barker watched this with his mum
What did she
when
say?
it came out. She was apparently overcome at seeing his name on the opening credits and started to cry with happiness. He told her that was the happiest she'd be for the next 2 hours. So yeah, that was good.
If you ever get a chance to read the comics Nightbreed, or I think there was a film made as well. Just
Okay.
check that out. That's Clive Barker as well.
All right, okay.
Very good.
Right, are we going for the plot slot?
Yeah, let me have a little sip of my disappointing drink that I've brought today. Disgusting.
Jimmy couldn't find what he wanted in the shop.
Yes, so now I've got pear cider.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
By the way, I'm going to try and make us actually do 10-minute plot slots.
Okay.
Because I just edited the last one, it went on for a bit, and it was a bit boring to edit, so it's probably boring to listen to if we waffle on for ages.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, we'll start this. If it looks like we're going slow, we'll just have to start talking faster, rush it, and then make it more fun. You ready?
Okay.
You want to start?
Yeah.
Alright, off you plop.
So, somewhere in North Africa, Frank Cotton purchases an antique puzzle box from a dealer. Back at his house, Frank solves the mystery of the puzzle box, and hooked chains immediately fly out of the box and tear into his flesh. Demons from another realm appear to inspect Frank's remains. Their leader searches among the shreds of flesh and blood and reassembles the pieces of Frank's face. He finds the mysterious box and twists it back into its original state, and the room appears empty as if nothing ever happened.
Frank's brother, Larry, soon moves into Frank's abandoned house with his second wife. I think the house belonged to their parents, didn't it?
Yes.
And his wife had previously had a secret affair with Frank. The house is a mess. Leftover food rots in the kitchen, and they both assume that Frank is off on one of his notorious adventures. Larry's teenage daughter, Kirsty, chooses not to live with her stepmother and moves into her own place. After cutting his hand on a nail, Larry goes upstairs to the room where Julia is, the same room where Frank was killed.
I just want to point out that the people that they hired to move this mattress were f***ing terrible.
They were bad at moving, and they were rude.
And they were rude, perving on the stepmother and daughter, and
Yeah.
then they go, "Have you got any beer?"
Yeah, you got any beer?
And then he gives them a
He just
six-pack
yeah.
or a four-pack
Larry,
or
the
something.
pussy, lets him talk to his wife and his daughter like that, and then literally goes and fetches them beer. And he's the one trying hardest to move the mattress when he's paid people to do it.
Nonsense. Larry's blood falls on the floor and mysteriously disappears through the floorboards as they leave the attic. Frank's minimal remains have been hidden under the floorboards. Julia takes Larry to the ER to have his hand stitched. Frank uses Larry's blood as nourishment to partially regenerate his body. Down below the floorboards, Frank's body bursts out and emits a sustained shriek of pain, and his body begins to regenerate.
Later, Julia finds Frank alone in the room, his body only partially regenerated and grotesque. She's repulsed by his appearance, but Frank convinces Julia to help restore him to his full physical form, reminding her that while she was his secret lover, she promised to do anything for him.
His willy hasn't come back yet, has it?
We didn't have a gander down there. I don't think.
did.
Oh, is that area visible?
I believe so. Yeah. He's all
Wow.
gooey, but he's not got a woody.
She probably wants that to grow back. Julia succumbs to Frank's offer and agrees to help him by seducing men and luring them up to the empty attic where Frank hides.
Now, sorry, just gonna butt in there. At no point, I don't think, was mentioned that she had to go out seducing men.
Not to us.
She's just a dirty slapper.
Do you think it was an off-screen conversation? Yeah, but she agreed to get bodies for him to,
Yeah.
absorb.
Do you know how I do it?
As a man, no.
Wow. Do you know how I do it as a woman?
How?
Oh, Dave, can you come and fit some laminate up in this room for me, please? Or could you just give us a quote on the floor? And then they get up, they're looking down at the floor, trying to get the measurements. Bop! Bang them on the head. Frank comes out. Sucky, sucky, sucky. Frank's suddenly got a rock hard rager. It's
Alright,
not
yeah,
gooey.
Okay. Well, that's good to know you think about these things. After having Julia incapacitate them, Frank is able to move in and drain them of their blood, which allows him to further regenerate his body. Frank tells Julia about the puzzle box and explains that by reclaiming his body, he has broken his deal with the cenobites.
He wants to fully restore himself and then run off with Julia before the cenobites can track him down. Kirsty, already suspicious of Julia, eventually sees Julia bringing a strange man home and sneaks into the house to investigate. In the attic, Julia beats the man, not off, which was what the man wanted, allowing Frank with a hammer, allowing Frank to feast on his body. Kirsty approaches the attic, unaware of what's happening within.
Suddenly, the bloody man stumbles out of the attic, soon followed by the skinless Frank, who confronts Kirsty. Before Frank can grab her, Kirsty picks up the puzzle box as a weapon. When she realises it holds value for Frank, she throws it out the window and escapes from the house, picking up the box as she runs down the street. A disorientated Kirsty awakens in a hospital where she tells herself it was all a terrible dream, until the doctors hand her the puzzle box. Kirsty begins to play with the puzzle box and inadvertently solves it.
The walls, that's just how you do it with a Rubik's Cube, isn't it? The walls of a hospital room open a dimensional door with a long tunnel behind it. A large, hideous monster begins to chase her as she escapes. When she looks back at the wall, it's sealed up, though she can hear the beast roaring behind it.
Suddenly, the walls of the room begin to change again and the cenobites appear. Their leader tells Kirsty that she has summoned them and therefore they must take her to the world of pleasure, pain and suffering. She then begs them to spare her, offering to lead them to Frank in exchange for her freedom. Kirsty escapes the hospital and races to her father's home to warn him about Frank.
Come to Daddy. Ugh. Larry informs Kirsty that Frank has been taken care of, and Julia shows Kirsty a bloody body in the attic. The cenobites reappear, demanding the man responsible for this death. Kirsty believes they want her father and she runs to warn him. However, she soon realises that Frank has murdered her father and stolen his skin and worn it like a suit to fool Kirsty into believing that he was her father.
Classic.
Classic gag.
2 minutes and 39 seconds we have, so let's do it. Frank comes after Kirsty, accidentally stabbing Julia in the process. Frank then drains Julia of her blood, further nourishing himself. He then goes to the attic where Kirsty is hiding. Kirsty weeps and accuses Frank of murdering her father. Frank reveals to Kirsty that her father was already dead inside anyway.
Having heard Frank's conversation, the cenobites appear. Frank tries to kill Kirsty for setting him up, but dozens of hooked chains grab him and tear him apart. His last words as he licks his lips are, "Jesus wept."
Instead of the original "F*** you,"
Yeah.
it was going to be. Kirsty runs through the house, eager to escape, but the cenobites want to take her as well. Kirsty finds the puzzle box clutched in the hands of Julia's chained corpse on a mattress. One by one, she banishes the cenobites back to the realm by reversing the solution to the puzzle box.
Afterward, Kirsty tries to burn the box in the fire outside, but the strange vagrant appears and picks it out of the flame. As the man is consumed by the flames, he is transformed into a winged skeletal creature that flies away into the night. In the final scene, the box is shown in the hands of the merchant who originally sold it to Frank, asking another prospective customer, "What's your pleasure, sir?" Sorry, I was going to do it in a terrible
I
accent.
thought that's where
changed
you
my
were going,
mind.
and then you probably made the right decision in the end. And we've got a minute
What's
and a
your
half
pleasure,
left.
sir? Sorry.
That wasn't even the right...
Why your pleasure?
No.
Saw finger.
Right, we're done. Minute and a half left. How's that for a snappy plot slot?
Lovely.
Should we move on then?
Yes, please.
Away from the first of the terrible accents of the day. The first fright, you might say.
Yes.
So let's move over to the frights and delights.
It's pain and pleasure. It's frights and delights with your humble cenobites, Jimmy and Joey.
Hey,
Couldn't think of a better cenobite name for us.
I saw the cogs turning. We don't need them. It's not about the name. It's about how you scare the shit out of people
Okay.
and how
Well,
you look.
yeah. Well, my leather trousers are chafing.
I took mine off.
Yeah, I know.
Don't mind the piercings.
Oh, it's metal and leather everywhere.
Say that 10 times fast. Shall I go in with a fright
Yes.
/ delight? There was a rap party after they'd finished filming, and Doug Bradley, who plays old Nailhead, was wondering why everyone was ignoring him, because he thought they'd all got on quite well while filming, so he's having a drink and standing around, and everyone's ignoring him, not talking to him, and he realises that no one's seen him out of makeup, so they didn't know who he was.
So does he have to put the makeup on every time he went to a...
I guess he
A
probably
rap
just
party,
introduced himself and went, by the way, everybody, I'm that guy that nobody calls Pinhead yet. So just call me Nailhead.
Well, Pinhead was used on set as what they called him. He wasn't called that in the film.
He was priest.
He was... Yeah, I think that was the... In the early drafts, he was priest, yeah.
Okay.
And he was credited as lead Cenobite
Okay.
in this. But the female Cenobite, she was supposed to be the leader of the
Cenobite.
Cenobites, yes, angels and demons. I don't know why she didn't get it. I don't know why they...
Well, in the script there was dialogue for the Chatterer. Yeah.
I like him. My
And
favourite.
for the Lady Cenobite.
Yes.
Uh,
Who they affectionately called Deep Throat on
yeah,
set.
was that something to do with a cut or something?
Yeah, or sucking cock.
Well, yeah.
No offence.
Don't
Don't
they couldn't
come
talk
after
in their
me.
makeup,
Yes.
so their dialogue was given around. The female Cenobite, Deep Throat, couldn't talk very well. Butterball and the Chatterer couldn't talk at all. So the lines were split between the female Cenobite and old Nailhead. And Nailhead was given so many of the lines, it made it seem as though he was the main guy, which is why he became the face of the film.
Yes, and a massive iconic image.
Yeah, it seems weird to think that wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
What have you got?
He was originally offered the 2 roles in the film, Doug Bradley.
All right.
It was it was between one of the mattress movers and the lead Cenobite. I
Yeah.
think he picked wisely.
Oh, yeah. Did I read he was thinking of going for the mattress moving man because you'd actually see his face and it was the beginning of his career,
Yes.
so he thought it would help
Yes.
having his face on screen, but luckily he went for lead Cenobite.
Both pervy roles, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because if he went for mattress mover 1, who was perving on the stepmom and then perving on the stepdaughter,
And then asking for beer.
and then asking for beer, ugh, and then rubbing him, ugh,
Yeah.
when she was creeping past.
Weird. And then
Yeah.
this teenage girl is like, oh, it must be my lucky day. Do you think Doug Bradley chose lead Cenobite because he ended up getting more lines? So if he was like, oh, which one
Oh,
do I
yeah,
go for?
probably.
And then they gave more lines.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've got a bit of a fright
Okay.
here. Barker didn't like the name Pinhead
Okay.
because, like you said, it was a nickname that stuck on set.
Yeah.
It stuck, got out, and in the sequels, it stuck.
Yes, I think it's in the second film. He possibly gets called Pinhead.
Yeah. In 2011, Barker produced a Hellraiser comic series, and in that series, he went back to calling him Priest.
Yes.
He also claims that Pinhead, or Priest, or Nailhead, as I think it should be. By the way, I call him Nailhead because that's what I called him when I watched this VHS.
Or if we were talking his human name, it's Elliot Spencer.
Is it?
Yeah. There's an origin thing.
Okay. But he does have a true Cenobite name, apparently.
Yes.
And he will reveal this in future Hellraiser releases. So maybe that could be comics, could be films. Could be a short story.
I think I know what it is. I think it begins with an X, but I can't pronounce it.
Okay. Are you going with one?
You just go with another one quickly.
Okay. It's just a delight, this one. The cube used to open the portal to hell is based on an urban legend called the Devil's Toy Box. This urban legend is about a similar cube, which had mirrors on the inside, and when someone enters the box, they will see strange, life-changing things, giving them a revelationary experience
Oh, lovely. Can we get our hands on this?
while warping and disturbing their mind forever.
Is this a thing?
So, the Devil's Toy Box.
Yeah.
No, but I can. Well, I haven't got the thing. If you want me to get it, you can read out your next, and I'll have a Google.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Here's a little bit of a delight for you. The term cenobite is a word meaning a member of a communal religious order. The Hellbound Heart specifies that they are members of the Order of the Gash.
Wow.
So this probably there's a couple of other names that the lead. So the lead cenobite goes as the Dark Prince of Pain and the Black Pope of Hell. Even though hell is never mentioned, they're not from hell. They transverse the planes of, I don't know, some sort of existence.
All right. Okay.
Some call them demons, some call them angels. It's very, very sort of sexual, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why I understand where sadomasochistic from beyond the grave comes from.
Yeah.
They're all clad in their. It's all very S&M and bondage.
Well, Clive
type.
Barker used to go to some clubs.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a delight.
I'm sure it was. And a fright, but you kind of liked the fright, which made the
Well,
fright a delight.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
guess
part of it.
that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
I found something about the Devil's Toy Box urban legend
Oh, okay.
from astonishinglegends.com. The Devil's Toy Box is described as a shack. From the outside, it is unappealing and average, but the interior of the Devil's Toy Box is what gives this strange room its lasting reputation. According to several sources, the inside of the shack... That's a cop-out, according to several sources. I bet there isn't... This is urban legend, isn't it? It makes it sound like this shack was real. Anyway, the inside of this shack consists of floor-to-ceiling mirrors, including the walls. No one can last more than 5 minutes in this room. People who have been unlucky enough to stumble upon this room have been hospitalized, driven mad, and run out screaming. The man alleged to last the longest was Roger Heltz, who lasted 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Heltz was, by all accounts, fairly normal, 52-year-old family man and father of three. Sadly, his experience in the room severely damaged him, and since that day he's been able to speak. Heltz is only one of the tales of the madness of terror. Dozens of teenagers have been seriously disturbed, horrified at what lay inside, or otherwise unable to last more than just a few seconds inside the attraction.
Oh.
Have I just read something about an attraction that's just based on the urban legends? Probably, but it was a quick Google, so there you go, that's what you got.
Oh, lovely.
Right, I'll go for another one.
Okay.
Shot Hellraiser in London,
London.
and the film was originally set in London.
London.
But New World Productions, the production company, thought it would be more marketable if it was set in the US, so you end up with a strange mix of accents. Some actors were overdubbed with American accents to help with the illusion of being in North America. Sean Chapman, who played Frank, was overdubbed, and so was the moving man who asked for beer, who Doug Bradley nearly played. So, there you go. Did you notice anything that gave it away it was London, apart from the fact it was clearly London?
Yeah, there's double-decker bus somewhere.
I didn't see a double-decker bus.
Well, yeah, I think there was. They might have cut it, but I'm sure there's a double-decker bus.
Well, that sucks. I haven't got any more.
Clive Barker drew inspiration for the Cenobite designs from punk fashion, Catholicism, and by the visits he took to what you described earlier, S&M clubs in New York and Amsterdam. Smoke. Ready for a smoke in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
For Pinhead,
2 accents.
specifically, Barker drew inspiration from African fetish sculptures. Initially, Barker intended Pinhead to have a navel piercing, implying that the character had genital piercings.
Is that what that implies when someone has a navel piercing?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know, but he's got a big cut down his stomach,
Yeah.
Pinhead, and it's sort of sewn shut. Sort of, it's like the old crab trail, isn't it? Leading it down.
Yes.
Eyes want to go down.
So I'm guessing he
following it
means
down.
a belly button piercing and not a navel. I was in the Navy.
But he's got his nipples out, isn't he? And they're all red.
Yeah.
Like he's had his nips ripped off, bleeding out.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm taking from this, because it's the whole S&M bondage type. Pleasure and pain sort of thing.
Yeah.
I love burgers, but
That's
this one's attacking me.
That's what you get from the Order of the Gash, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Joining up something with that name.
Yeah. The female cenobite was inspired by scarification and body piercing.
Right.
Apparently. The makeup took like over 3 hours to apply. Didn't like it. Caused her a little bit of comfort. Not comfort. Discomfort. Or maybe it was comfort. She refused to do it in the end. So they got another one in who was a mime artist.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got no more frights and delights. I have one little fright actually that the Order of the Gash has reminded me of. That one of my mates walking down the road, we saw a British gas van, and he said British Gash. And now I can never not say British Gash because I'm not even trying. So now I've put that out there into the world. I want it to become a thing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Now, who's your favourite Cenobite in this? So we've got
The Chatterer.
the Chatterer. Okay, yeah. Shock Till You Drop called Chatterer, an iconic character that is simply a badass and incredibly terrible. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
This Paul Kane described the character as representing two different fears: that of being eaten alive,
Yeah.
and dental work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, he's my favourite for another reason that I have in go on visual effects later.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think he's my favourite because he's the weirdest.
Is he, or is it
Scariest.
Butterball? I think he's my favourite.
All right, okay. Why?
'Cause he's so cute and cuddly.
Okay.
It's a big squash face, like with his sunglasses on. It's like
Yeah.
it's like they've done 3 really good ones, and then they've tried to do a fourth and gone. Do you know what?
Yeah.
We're just gonna make him fat. It's just gonna make him a big fat face.
Maybe they spent so much time on everyone else's makeup by the time they got round to him. It was just puff him up.
That, or
Oh.
they made a really, really good like latex full head mask, and then some dickhead left it out under the heat lamp and it melted.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Plus, I want to know what a butterball is.
A ball of butter.
Like what you put in a chicken Kiev.
I don't know. Butterball. What was that boxer called?
Butter bean.
Butter bean.
Butter beans are nice as well. Talking about butter beans, Christ.
I have no idea. Don't know. Have you got anything else, or are we going to move on to the master?
Let's move on to the master because we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Butter beans.
Master of the Macabre.
Master of the Macabre.
Welcome to the Master of the Macabre. We are going to pick our favourite performer from Hellraiser, and I have 2 people to talk about, Jimmy.
Okay.
But I haven't picked a favourite,
Right.
and I could go for someone that's not even one of these 2 if you convince me, because I'm on the fence.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you who my 2 names are,
Yep.
and then we can discuss, and you can
Okay.
let me know what you've got, okay?
Yep.
I have Ashley Lawrence, who plays Kirsty,
Cotton, yeah.
and Oliver Smith, who plays Frank the Monster.
Right. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, why have you gone for Oliver Smith?
Because Frank the Monster is my favourite person in this.
Why? The man put a suit on before he got his skin back.
What?
He put
A shirt
clothes on.
He just didn't want to be like I wear clothes when I'm out, right?
But he
Because
was-
I'm embarrassed about my naked body. He's got a naked body with no skin on.
Yeah, but he's in an attic and he's gooing everywhere.
Might be cold.
He's not cold.
He's got no skin to keep the heat in.
Undead. He can't be cold. He's gooing. He's gooing everywhere, like dripping, like absolutely mental. And when Julia goes up and he sticks his gooey finger in her mouth, right, all around, like she's getting plasma
Yeah.
and human inside everywhere. And then suddenly he decides to pop a shirt on, and he can see it's stained. It's soaking through.
Yeah.
Who's gonna wash it for him?
I don't think that's the most of his worries. He'll just get a new shirt from someone else he kills. But the fact that the actor, has made you this passionate about that character just helps me with my argument.
Well, it's whoever said, let's pop a little bloody shirt on him. Let's not get another dead body so he can grow a bit of skin. Or can he not grow skin? Because he had to steal Frank's, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Stuck
needed...
him.
I don't really
Not
know.
Frank's. What's his name?
Larry.
Lazar.
Right, so you're not on board for Oliver Smith.
I like him. I think he did a good job of like hiding in like the corner, being all like drippy and gooey and stuff.
And Crawley. He had to do like 3 body movements in this.
Yeah, he was very good. Yeah,
Good
he was
repertoire.
doing that.
Crawl, walk, run, suck,
Drip. Melt.
gloop.
Gloop. Yes, gloop. He was glooping all over the...
Yeah. Okay,
Shop.
alright, so what about Ashley Lawrence, play Kirsty? She went through the range of emotions.
Of being a terrible actress.
80s horror film, we haven't got to be too picky.
No. I take that back. She was very, very good, I think. This was her debut, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Her film.
She just scared, she just sad, she just running, walking.
Talking.
She looks like Winona Ryder.
Yeah, she did a bit, didn't she?
It wasn't even that who does she look like type thing when I was trying to figure it out. It was
Yeah.
just obvious straight away. It looks like She looks like Winona Ryder.
She's. Do you know what other film she's been in?
Not off the top
Because
of my
I
head.
definitely recognise her from other films. I'm sure she's been in other films, obviously.
Are you having a Google?
I'm just gonna have a quick one. Yeah. Well, she's in the 3 other Hellraiser films.
Yep.
But after this, just little quick Google, I don't recognise any of the films that she's been in.
Chuck a couple of names out.
Okay, chill.
I will just read the
2006.
names out.
Direct to video. Nope.
Nope.
About television. She was in a couple of episodes. Suddenly Susan. Beverly Hills 90210.
I've heard of Beverly Hills 90210.
ER. She was in a video by the band Slipknot.
Oh, okay. I do know Slipknot.
Well, there you go. I thought she was more famous than she was. Anyway, well
Who
done.
are your choices?
Eh?
Who are your choices?
Oh, Doug Bradley
Okay.
is my one choice.
Oh, okay. For lead cenobite.
Yes, because it spawned this f***ing massive, iconic character. And I think he does it very well with a touch of the camp about him.
Okay.
He's one of only 6 actors to play the same horror character at least 6 consecutive times.
Oh.
Do you want to have a pop at who you think played the same character 6 times in a row?
I thought you just said it was Doug Bradley.
No, he's one of 6 people.
Okay.
He's one of only 6 actors to play the same horror character at least 6 consecutive
Christopher
times.
Lee, one of them.
Bam, Count Dracula.
Bloody hell. I don't think I'll get any more than Christopher Lee.
Go on, you've got to think big. Think really obvious.
Halloween?
No, it's not in there.
No?
It's a good sort of area. Think of the other one.
Nightmare on Elm Street? Yeah?
Yes. Robert Englund.
How many... No, okay, that's 3.
We've done one of these episodes before. I think it was our 2nd episode.
Oh, shit. The voice of Chucky.
Yes.
Shit, what's his name?
Brad Dourif.
Yes.
Yes.
I kept saying I kept saying his name wrong.
Right, I'll give you a clue of this next one. He's a little fella. Oi, he's a little fella.
Is he Irish?
No,
you
he's
just
not
doing that?
Irish, but the film is, and he's a little fella.
What? Dunno.
Warwick Davis, the leprechaun.
Yeah, what has he played?
The leprechaun.
Oh, okay. I thought you were calling Warwick Davis a leprechaun.
No, he played the leprechaun.
And sued.
Go on, and the last one, it was like big in the 2000s-ish. quite a big franchise.
Saw.
Yes, Tobin Bell
Yeah.
played Jigsaw.
Yeah. What did you think of the Saw films?
I like them.
I liked 1 and 2.
And I like Jigsaw as well. That was a good film.
I've not seen Jigsaw.
That's a very good film.
I think I've watched 1 and 2. Then I liked 1 and 2. They had a good story, but after that, it was just an excuse for torture porn.
No, you've got to get
3 and
past
4,
that.
I saw, by the way. I didn't watch any after that. All right, let's go with Doug Bradley.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, he's the best actor in the film.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to cast the net.
Yes.
All right, congratulations, Doug Bradley. You don't need it, but
He's just gonna.
you
The
have our
walls are just
approval.
gonna start to glow any minute now, and
Yeah.
he's gonna come through the door, and chains are gonna fly out and grab our novelty cop medals.
Okay.
But he likes that sort of thing, doesn't it? He likes it.
Yeah, he'll probably break it in half or something. That's his jam.
Oi, oi!
Let's go do some rating on the Madhouse rating system.
The Madhouse Rating System.
Congratulations, you've solved the mystery of the lament configuration. So now you get to enjoy the Madhouse rating system. Burp, 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 burp. Sorry, I
that
don't
was
know
a good
why.
sound. No, I like that. I like the energy. We've both had shit weeks. The energy's there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's first, Jimmy?
I'm going to have a little sip of the lovely Baileys that
Yeah.
you put in front.
I have. Yeah, it's Christmas time here. By the way, we're in the past
Yes.
in December. It's sometime in January when this is coming out.
Yeah, but I'm a Time Lord, so...
Yeah, and I'm releasing the Christmas special in like 3 days. So, how's that work?
Oh,
Anyway, it's nice.
lovely. It's creamy. So, first up, my lovely little lot. We have tension and suspense.
Well, this film is a straightforward tension build-up and release formula. It's there are the things you know are going to happen, then they happen. Then you're on the next cycle of kind of building up to the next thing you know is most likely going to happen, then that also happens. So it's not the thrilliest of thrillers in terms of thrillingness, in my opinion.
Okay.
The tension is, to begin with, in the decision-making of Julia. Will she or won't she help? Will she let her husband be killed by his resurrected brother, who happens to be her lover?
Yep.
Then it switches halfway through the film-ish to be Kirsty. She takes over as the protagonist when her stepmother does indeed fall for the sexy charms of a skinless, blood-oozing corpse man, as you do.
Who likes to say, come to daddy?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's attractive or not.
That line was basically used for Kirsty to realise that it wasn't her dad, it was Frank, because Frank says, come to your daddy.
Yeah,
Come
he
to
says
daddy.
it to Julia, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah.
It's like his line.
Yeah,
It's just creepy.
it is. Especially when you don't have any skin on your face.
Come to daddy.
Yeah,
to
well,
daddy.
the best suspense is when Kirsty's talking to Frank, but Frank is wearing a father's skin. That's always an awkward conversation.
Oh,
But she figures out, of course, who he is, because he says, come to daddy. That's the bit where it clicks.
that's the bit where it clicks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think thinks something's off. It's a bit weird.
The fact that he's oozing all around the side, like around his
Yeah, he hasn't sewed up very well.
No, it's terrible. And there's a bit of flap of skin flopping off the top of his forehead as
Oh,
well. And
yeah.
she's there oblivious, like, oh. And she doesn't even go, do you need to go to the hospital, Dad? Because you're bleeding all the way around your skull. There's blood everywhere.
It's called suspension of disbelief.
And his eyes are different. They darkened
And his voice.
Yeah, and his voice. They darkened his eyes. His voice is different. She's
Come to daddy.
crackers. Yeah.
But of course, you saved the day. That's a good finale. But I never felt like she wasn't going to do it.
Okay.
So the finale's good, with the cenobites deciding to go after Kirsty and wet blanket boyfriend boy.
Oh yeah, sort of Down syndrome Tom Hanks.
Oh wow, that's a sentence that has never been said before. I hope. For the
get
sake
what I'm
of
saying,
humanity, I hope it's the last time as well.
Do you get what I mean though?
Yeah, he's just not as on it.
No,
Tom Hanks. He's
yeah, he looks like Tom Hanks that's had a stroke.
yeah, or just on something.
Yeah,
Forrest
no.
Gump.
Well, no, it's his face.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Droopy Tom Hanks.
but it finished on a nice little showdown.
Yeah.
But I would be shooting for half a star for tension and suspense.
I think so. Like you said, I think the film is split into two for tension and suspense. The first half is Julia going to help Frank reanimate his body because he's half done. He needs more. He needs
Flesh
more
on his
bodies.
bone.
Yeah, he needs to get that willy basically, and she needs that willy. But then after that, it's all about Kirsty, and she's all kind of running away from it, trying to help her dad, and then it's not her dad, and then
It follows like peaks and troughs to a bit of a formula. We want when they're like plotting this story, it's like we want this to happen, and then we want some story to make this to happen, and then lead on to this happening, and that's the 3 stages. You know, that's your 3-part film.
yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the second one. I'm going to watch the second one tomorrow.
3-act film. That's what I mean.
3-act film, yes. So I'm looking forward to watching the second one. I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the story of Kirsty after this, and she's been hauled off to a bloody mental asylum.
Ah, well, did see that coming.
So all right. So what you're saying for tension and suspense?
I'd go for half a star.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Sorted.
Okay, next up we have
Bailey's.
Bailey's. Oh, hello.
Merry January Christmas, everybody. So, what do we actually have next?
Gore and visual effects.
Alright. Most of the visual effects come from the cenobites in terms of makeup.
Yep.
And Frank as a growing
And Frank.
monster, and
That's a different
Frank.
That's a different film, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
She was
doesn't
trapped in an
end
attic
so
as well, wasn't she?
Yep. And it doesn't end anywhere near as well. But Frank growing as a monster is one of the best effects, I think. The effect of Frank emerging from the floorboards is amazing.
That is good.
And so is the whole of his journey from gloopy blob to murderous knob. Every time he kills someone and absorbs them is a little bit more complete. And the way they do that is pretty good. It's done in a way that it makes it easy to forget there's a man under the suit. It actually looks quite good. Usually if I put makeup on top of you to make you look like flesh, you'd look like some puffed out fleshy thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think he did. He must have been a bit skinny.
Must have. I'd like to think that somebody at all times was stood above him, dripping like a watering can of not set strawberry jelly
Yeah.
on him, because
some
he's
sort
always
of syrup.
drippy and gooey, isn't he?
Yeah. Everyone just went and got their waffles and just wiped them on him at lunch.
Yeah. That's why Julia probably didn't mind when he was sticking his finger in his mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, they make a full man look like only part of a man. That is bone covered in muscle, and they achieve it using nothing but practical effects throughout any of this film. Apart from the lightning
Yes.
stuff. Or the makeup. There's no CGI'd stuff over that.
Yeah.
It's all 1987. Best year ever.
They did. Yeah, they've done well.
The original ideas from the Cenobites came from, like you said, punk culture, fashion, Catholic church and S&M clubs that Barker had visited. The first ever version of our pal, Ordinary Head, appeared in 1973, 14 years before the film. This was in a play called The Dutchman, with Doug Bradley in the lead role as an undead inquisitor and torturer. A film came out later called The Forbidden, and this featured a wooden cube with nails protruding from it. Under different angles of light, these nails created shadowy formations, and this technique was borrowed and applied to Pinhead's head
Lovely.
during the scripting phase of Hellraiser to get that shadowy effect of the nails.
Lovely.
And they are nails.
Yeah.
The Chatterer, played by Nicholas Vince, his mask was all one piece. This is partly why he's my favourite, because this must have been tough. His mask was all one piece, with the fake teeth fitted inside his mouth. This meant that eating and talking were impossible, and it caused him to drool uncontrollably, because he would have had to take the whole mask off and everything to get the teeth out. Which is just... I don't think I could have stood through that for hours. They were set to chatter whenever he bit his real teeth down. There was a redesign of his costume for the sequels, so that the teeth were removable, and he could also talk, so he could have some line.
Oh.
Got any views on the gore
Well,
or the visual effects?
yeah, I mean, the cenobites are great. I think they look lovely. And
Yep.
it's late. I think it is later explained a long, long way down in the films who they are and where they've come from. But in this very first film, I think it's nice to speculate
I am speculating.
on the sort of on what they look like, why they look like what they look like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's all about pleasure and pain, and it is.
Yeah, the Chatterer is meant to look close to explode. Oh, is that sorry, Butterbean.
Butterball, yeah. So
Close to
so
exploding.
it's like
Gluttony.
at this point when you first see it, you're like, oh, I wonder how they've got like that. It's just quite interesting, obviously, with the priest with all his pins in his head, and how the female Cenobite, why she's got her throat cut open and pinned back, and why the Chatterer's got his mouth exposed and why his face is all squashed. Obviously, they've gone into this massive... There's obviously some sort of thing that's happened, some sort of sexual pain, pleasure type thing that's made them this way. Do you know what I mean? That's what the chains come out. That's a big thing, isn't it? In
Yeah,
S&M,
yeah.
hanging people from chains. And
It's quite
that's-
clever how they've done that for a film that they never knew was going to get a sequel at
Yes.
the time.
And
Yeah.
it does get... So that's how I like to think of it from this first film, but then it does get explained down. I think it's in Hellraiser Bloodline where it gets explained.
Well, I don't remember the end of this film from when I snuck the VHS off the shelf the first time a couple of decades. Oh shit, more than that ago, but a long time ago. And I don't think I've seen it all the way through, so I've never seen the sequels. So I was doing what you were just explaining while watching it.
Well, the first time I saw it, I never thought of it as that sort of sexual S&M sadomasochistic thing. I just thought, Hellraiser, these are just weird monsters.
Yeah.
But then when you
the
look-
undertones,
But then, like, when I watched it last night, and you look and you go, oh yeah, they're all leather clad. You know, they've got various
dominators.
scarifications, and then they're like, we're angels to some and demons to others.
Yeah.
You know, come with us through pain and pleasure
Yeah,
and all that kind of thing.
yeah. It's a lot to go through
I mean, I didn't get a stiffy
to
but...
get your rocks off.
yeah, but some people like that, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not judging. But what do you want to do for gore visual effects?
I want to give it a star, a big fucking fat star.
Yeah, okay. I want to give it a star with a piercing.
Yeah, we'll give it a star
Yeah.
with a couple of nipple piercings.
Yeah.
And
Some gloop.
and a cock piercing. Let's not be sexist.
And a bit of gloop.
And a bit of gloop. And a butt piercing. Whatever that is.
Oh, that's a thing. I never thought about that before, but now I know that's a thing.
Yep.
Right,
So, a star and a half.
it is.
Next up, we have musical score and sound effects.
This is quite interesting.
Okay.
There was a band called Coil.
Coil.
Do you know any of this?
I know a little bit of it. I don't.
So Clive Barker was a fan of this band, Coil, and they did the original soundtrack.
Oh.
Sorry, Barker was a fan of the original soundtrack that they did.
Okay.
He chose them.
I'm guessing there's some sort of death metal band.
Yeah, it's like electronic though as well.
Oh, okay.
It was good. It was really good. And Barker said, "Coil were the only group I've heard on disc whose records I've taken off because they've made my bowels churn."
Oh, yes.
So it sounds like they had an awesome soundtrack sorted for Hellraiser, but then enters a Nazi studio exec, the same guy who I'm guessing said we should base this in America instead of London.
Oh, what a prick.
Yeah, that nonce.
Nonce.
And he figured out that if they used an in-house composer, they wouldn't have to pay royalties to Coil.
Oh, he's a cheapskate as well.
Yes. Coil had already recorded 9 tracks for the film, and they were released under the name Unnatural History 2, Smiling in the Face of Perversity, and on another album, the unreleased themes for Hellraiser. Both of these were on CD, but are very rare and hard to find. However, if you were the type of person that has, the internet,
What? What's that?
and you happen to type the words Coil-Unnatural History 2, Smiling in the Face of Perversity into a website that may or may not rhyme with ShoeDoob, then you may possibly find the full illegally uploaded album. I'm not condoning it, or doing it myself even, but I'm just saying I've heard it might be there. And if you want to check it out,
Yeah, I'm going to have a look later.
you should, because it's really good, apparently. So do that. The man who did end up composing the music that actually ended up in the film was a man called Christopher Young. And while I don't like the turn of events that led to him getting the job, I can't deny he had a really good interpretation of the film. He did something different to Coil that also worked really well. Young already had previous in the genre and also went on to do more in the future. I think he was just a safe bet for the studio at the time to do something good. He'd done a lot. In just the 80s, he composed, among other things, music for Invaders from Mars,
Better.
Trick or Treat, Hellraiser, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and The Fly 2 in 89, which I've never seen. I didn't know there was a number 2. I love the first one. And I bought the second one since reading this.
You should go really far back and go for the original The Fly.
I've seen that as well, yeah.
And
saw it on TV once.
And the other one. Return of the Fly.
Yeah, the little fly man, isn't he? It's on a tree. Help me!
Right at the end. Right at the end, he's stuck on a cobweb.
Yes, yeah.
Vincent Price and the other chap sat on the bench, and he's down there. Going, help me! And apparently, I heard this the other day, listening to the Full Price podcast. Apparently, Vincent Price. I can't remember who sat next to him in that at the end of that film, but Vincent Price and the actor at the end of that film apparently just couldn't keep themselves composed about it.
I've seen that Full Price podcast. Is it good?
Yes, it is very good.
Better than us.
Different. If you like all things Vincent Price,
nobody likes change.
If you like all things Vincent Price, then check that out.
Yeah, I'm going to. It's one of the ones that keep me to check out. I've nearly run out of Behind the Bastards, which I'm catching up on, which is amazing, by the way. Go check out Behind the Bastards. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, The Fly 2. Other notable films he did through the 90s, noughties, and onward are Species, The Dark Half, the Stephen King adaptation, Urban Legend, The Grudge 1 and 2, The Exorcism of Emily Rose,
Good film.
Drag Me to Hell.
Yes!
He is still working now, and in 2019 he was the music man for another Stephen King adaptation, Pet Sematary.
Yes!
So it's pretty safe to say that man has pedigree, as good as Coil's was. And I would love it if I could get the Hellraiser film, but with Coil's original soundtrack. The soundtrack is probably available on that, what did I say, DoTube?
Yeah, why don't you just get it off DoTube and put it on your computery thing, pop Hellraiser in on and put mute, and then just play Coil's album
over the top
of it.
I don't know if it'll work. I have to see.
Just do it. Do it. I'm up for it. We'll get a few buckies in. We'll just put Hellraiser on mute and just play Coil's album on repeat and see which bits line up.
Yeah, like, was it Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon and The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
That is actually incredibly strange how that lines up. Let's see. Yeah, right. Let's check that conspiracy theory out. I'm making it a conspiracy theory by saying conspiracy theory. We'll do that. We haven't plugged Buckfast for a while, so go and drink Buckfast, and then if we do it enough, maybe one day they'll sponsor us, and we can make a good podcast for you because we'll have a bit of money to use.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. So anyway, I would give it 1 for score. Give it 1 star for score, not score it 1 star for the 1 score for the star.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Dude, I
don't agree.
I would go for half a star if you like, because I realise I was just saying that on the interestingness of the history of the soundtrack for Hellraiser.
Yes, that was. I'm saying half.
Okay,
So that's,
half.
we're on 2 stars.
I was thinking of the Coil soundtrack when I was saying a star. It's not the soundtrack that made it on. So, okay, now we're on overall experience. What are we on overall at so far?
No, we're not. We're on performance.
Oh, we missed it out. We've gone in the wrong order.
That was me.
We missed performance. Good performance.
Good performance.
Very, very 80s at times.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
But it's
1987.
probably to be expected in a horror film that was made in the 80s. I was a bit miffed to find out about the overdubbing of actors. They probably did really good jobs just for them to be like 50% erased because that dickhead executive came in and was like, America, yeah!
It's very obvious as well, isn't it?
Yeah!
America!
Yeah! I'm Frank, and I'm gonna fuck you.
Come to daddy.
It's basically what I did. Come to daddy. Oh, baby. One actor they were going to overdub was Doug Bradley, who played Old Nailhead. But they saw his performance and decided it was awesome and kept it, which is great, but also a bit of kick in the balls to all the other actors who were still overdubbed after they'd seen him. It's like, he's good enough to keep, you lot were overdubbing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows? Ashley Lawrence was also brilliant as a debut actress. She did the range of emotions pretty convincingly. Andrew Robinson and Claire Higgins were alright as the 2 lead adults. They did fine, but not world-changing at all.
Well, no, yeah, but they hammed it up.
Yeah.
But that's what you do in the 80s. You hammed it up.
What,
Big hair, big suits, hamming it up.
Yeah, certain horror types call for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this one did actually call for it.
I'm still waiting for me and you to remake House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Don't know how to do it though. That's the one thing holding us back is talent. Lack of. Anyway, are you giving it a star for performance?
No,
No? Half or none?
I don't know.
Not even
'cause I
Doug
think
Bradley
it's only
saving it.
I think it's only Pinhead who was the best in it. Oh, well, actually, all the Cenobites. Give him half. Give him half.
Yeah?
I'm saying half.
I haven't kept track there, so I don't know where we are.
2.5.
Is that just 2.5
Yes,
out of
it
5?
is. Yeah.
Okay. Experience.
So,
Sorry. I'm stealing your job again, man. Go.
So, the last one is overall experience.
Is it? Do you want to give it a star?
For overall experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this film. It's great.
I'm going to give it half a star. Because I don't want to make it a 5 out of 5. I think that makes it a 4 out of 5, doesn't it? If I give it half.
Well, no, we're on 2 stars.
Yeah, you give it a star.
That's 3.
3.5.
Yeah.
No, we're on 2.5 stars.
2.5. Okay.
So you're 3.5. I'm giving it a half. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Right, 4 out of 5 for Hellraiser. I think that's a pretty good. It's good. It's a good score.
Yeah, it's a good score.
It's in the top league with The Exorcist, but it's not winning the table.
No, it should be up there as well because it's iconic and it's a good watch, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to watch all the other 9.
I think it sits well at 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Happy with it.
Yeah.
That means it's time now, Jimmy, to do our next film pick. But this episode right now is episode 19, which means our next episode is episode 20, which means it is a George A. Romero special. You want to read out the description
Following an ever-growing epidemic of zombies that have risen from the dead, 2 Philadelphia SWAT team members, a traffic reporter, and his television executive girlfriend seek refuge in a secluded shopping mall.
That's right, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. And when we get to episode 20, which is the next one, we'll be doing George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, boy!
1978, which you have just informed me,
Boom.
In between recording bits, was 10 years after Night of the Living Dead. I didn't realise it was that long.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a special one, so it might run over time again. But, you know, who cares?
It's gonna be worth it.
It is a very, very good film, and the best version of it.
So,
By miles.
get it watched. Get it watched before it comes out. Let us know what you think. Send us some stuff. If you want to say something about it, that would be lovely.
Yeah, if you've got any points you want us to point out about Dawn of the Dead yourself, email us at themadhousePodcast@outlook.com or get in touch on Facebook. That's very easy. Just find us on Facebook, type the Madhouse Podcast. And that's the end of the episode, calling Time of Death, episode 19. This has been the Madhouse Podcast, and we'll see you next week for Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah!
Time, take me to the madhouse.
What a woman will do for a good
Yes.